COP30. World leaders take aim at Trump for climate inaction. President Trump was under attack on Thursday as world leaders lined up to criticize his stance on climate change ahead of the global COP30 summit. The US leader, who is absent from the gathering in the Amazonian city of Belém, was called a liar, his rejection of climate science and against humankind for his rollback of key climate policies. Russian soldier sentenced to life in jail in unprecedented Ukrainian trial. A Ukrainian court has handed down the first jail sentence for life against a Russian soldier accused of killing a Ukrainian prisoner of war. Dmitry Kurashov, 27, was found guilty of shooting dead Vitaly Hodnyuk, a veteran 41-year-old Ukrainian soldier who had surrendered following capture in 2024. Ukraine's national police said that expert reports, witness testimony, and video footage from the scene confirmed that the Russian soldier deliberately killed the POW on the orders of his commanders, who had instructed troops not to take Ukrainian soldiers captive. Sudan's RSF paramilitaries agree humanitarian ceasefire. Sudan's Paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, has agreed to a proposal from the US for a humanitarian ceasefire, the group said on Thursday. Sudan's military-led government has not yet responded. The RSF issued the statement after seizing the city of El Fasher in the western Darfur region. Their 18-month siege blocked humanitarian aid despite repeated UN appeals, causing starvation among residents unable to flee. A UN-backed global hunger monitor has confirmed famine conditions in the city. The RSF has been facing an international backlash over reports of mass killings by its foot soldiers, which it has denied. But it has admitted violations were committed by individuals and arrested some. Greek Coast Guard chief to be prosecuted over deadly migrant shipwreck. 4 senior figures in the Greek Coast Guard, including its current commander, are to face criminal prosecution for negligent manslaughter in connection with a 2023 migrant boat disaster in which up to 650 people are thought to have drowned. The fishing boat Adriana went down off the Greek coast near Pylos. Survivors told the BBC that the vessel capsized after Coast Guards made a botched attempt to tow it. Greek authorities have always denied any wrongdoing over the shipwreck. Now a prosecutor at the Naval Appeal Court in Piraeus has recommended that the current head of the Hellenic Coast Guard, Vice Admiral Tryphon Kontizas, and 3 other senior officers should go on trial. Boeing criminal case linked to deadly 737 crashes dropped. Boeing will avoid a criminal charge in the US linked to 2 deadly 737 MAX crashes after a court granted a request from the US government to dismiss the criminal case. In his ruling, Judge Reed O'Connor said he disagreed that dropping the charge was in the public interest, but said his concerns did not give him sufficient reason to deny the proposal. The decision marks a major win for Boeing, which had agreed to plead guilty to the charge last year after the government accused it of violating a settlement related to the crashes. The dismissal had been opposed by some of the families of those killed in the accidents, who had sought to hold Boeing accountable at trial. World's oldest president sworn in for 8th term in Cameroon. Cameroon's 92-year-old President Paul Biya has promised to restore order in the country gripped by post-election violence, as he was sworn in for an 8th consecutive term in office. In his inaugural address, the world's oldest president offered condolences to victims of the protests and blamed those he called irresponsible politicians for the unrest. "I can assure you, order will reign," he promised, saying it was pointless to plunge the country into crisis. Following allegations of fraud during last month's election, Biya described the electoral process as satisfactory and praised the electoral body, Elecam. The nonagenarian won 54% of the vote, compared to the 35% of Issa Chiroma Bakary, according to the official results. Are Christians being persecuted in Nigeria as Trump claims? US President Donald Trump has issued a fresh threat to target Nigeria if the government continues to allow the killing of Christians. In a video released on Truth Social, external he pledged to do things to Nigeria that Nigeria is not going to be happy about, and go into that now disgraced country, guns a blazing. But the White House's interest in this subject did not come out of the blue. Looking at deaths this year alone, Intersociety concluded that between January and August, just over 7,000 Christians were killed. This is another figure that has been widely shared on social media, including by Republican Congressman Riley M. Moore, who has been a leading voice on this issue in the House of Representatives. Intersociety includes a list of 70 media reports as some of the sources to its findings on the attacks against Christians in 2025. But in about half of these cases, the original news stories did not mention the religious identity of the victims. 2 critically injured after driver rams into people on French Island. A driver has rammed his car into pedestrians and cyclists on the holiday island of Oléron, off the west coast of France, injuring 5 people, including 2 who are in a critical condition. A local man, 35, deliberately drove into people and then set fire to the vehicle, authorities said. He was immobilized with a stun gun after resisting arrest. The man drove some distance between 2 villages on the island, mowing down several people. The mayor of Dolosse-d'Oléron, Thibaut Breshkov, said. He is now being held by police in Saint-Pierre-d'Oléron on suspicion of attempted murder. The incident took place around 8:45, 7:45 GMT, and lasted 35 minutes. Witnesses described seeing a series of incidents in several places on the island, including the villages of Dolosse-d'Oléron and Saint-Pierre-d'Oléron, which came to an end outside a bakery.